Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Whiskey Sour Libations and Conversations. We have such an amazing guest here today. But before I fully give the whole spiel about her, I want to show y'all this epic, now viral clip where it has over 25 million views of today's guest. Epic, right? She is the star of Millennials. You've seen her on some of our favorite shows, Girlfriends, City Guys. She's in I Got the Hookup too. Welcome to the stage, our girl, my friend, Tanjareen Thomas.
Yay! Applause, applause, applause. Thank you very
Yes,
much. Thank you
yes,
for that
yes,
intro.
yes.
Appreciate you. Thanks for
I
reminding me of that video.
Oh my
So
gosh, it
funny.
was such an amazing night that night, and I appreciate you for inviting me out because I had the time of my life.
I was happy that you said yes because I was like, I want to take a couple homegirls to this thing that I always enjoy doing. And you were like, okay. And then you were like, but I'm going to go on a date night afterwards. I'm going to leave early. I'm like, wait, you can't leave early to a fly point event. But you were there to record me for the halftime dance contest. And, you press and record made me be able to post the video and go viral. So thank you.
So, Kim, first of all, you're welcome. But I want to talk about these knees because at the end of that video, them knees is bending for about a good 15 seconds. And listen, I wish that I was able to do that. I have a knee injury, but baby,
It's so funny because I hear people say in videos online all the time about their bad knees, and I can't do that. And Meg the Stallion's amazing because this and my
I mean,
knees. And
you're
I'm like,
Tangerine V Stallion. That's what we call you
that's
now.
what they said in
Tangerine
the
V Stallion.
comments. I'm like, what is wrong with everybody's knees? Like, what did I miss? I know my mama had to have knee surgery, but she was a letter carrier. She delivered mail for
Okay.
like a couple of decades or 3 decades or something. So it's like, I get it. She was using her knees and climbing hills and, rain, hail, or sleet. But what did everybody else do to their knees that they can't just bounce down on their knees real quick and, pop, lock, and drop it? I'm still doing that at the clubs. Hey, pop, lock, and drop it, going all the way down on my
Girl.
knees. It's like, what?
Okay, well, I can tell you what happened to mine. Actually, about 2 years ago now, I was at a friend's house
Hmm.
looking for my phone, and his coffee table was like positioned weird, and I hit my knee
Ooh.
on the table, but and I like pretty much I almost passed out from the pain. But it's
Mm.
not necessarily like my knee, but it is the back of it. And I've gotten
Okay.
MRIs, everything, and they just said it's just gonna take a long time for it to heal, or I could do like cortisone shots, and I don't want to do that. So
Mm, mhm,
yeah.
mhm. Do we blame the friend for having the coffee table in the wrong place to hit you in the knee?
No, I
Okay,
blame
cool.
the dog that was sitting on my phone that I was looking for. I blame the dog.
Okay.
So I'm like, I
Uh,
and I'm honestly like naturally I'm kind of clumsy. So it's my fault at the end of the day. So it is what it is. So
that's
just
funny. My ex told me that I was clumsy, and I was so hurt yet enlightened because I was like, "Oh, you know what? I think he has a point." Because when I look back at the things that I bump into, or I might have a scratch on my arm that I don't know where it came from, and I'm like, I dropped something. And we're both 5'9", so maybe these long
yeah.
limbs and these long legs, maybe that's why. I don't know.
It'd be like that. And I have really big feet, and so I trip over my feet sometimes.
That's
Uh
so funny. I
yeah,
don't actually. For my height, I'm only an 8.5, and it's weird because people are like, "How did you get small feet?" I'm like, "I
Tangerine,
don't
I'm
know."
5'9" and I wear a 10 and a half. How? Like, please, this is you and my
Oh,
cousin, it's just not fair.
sorry.
It's not. And God also really didn't give me pretty toes. So
That's why you always in sneakers. Now I got it.
Oh no, it's not that. It's just that half the time we doing stuff and it's like I'm relaxed. Like I want to come over and we got to take our shoes off at the house anyway. So
No, you be at events with a beautiful outfit and some fly ass sneakers on. That is your MO. That is your look. And it's really cool.
and sometimes I be wanting to get drunk and dance, and so some of my shoes they are just decoration, and my feet will be on fire.
Yeah,
So
most women,
yeah,
they have to pick the pretty shoe that is going to give them pain, and next thing you know, they're barefoot in the parking lot. So yeah,
yeah, I have Louboutins that I don't even wear anymore because I just don't even try.
I hate the fact that I have Lubies and I know that they're all uncomfortable. I buy them bigger on purpose just
Hmm.
so that, I don't have the discomfort, but they make them so thin on the bottom. I have to buy a
Yep,
pad to put on the inside. I'm like, I don't spend all this money on this pair of shoes that I have to doctor up to make comfortable just
yep,
for this red bottom. And it's not okay. I'm
it's
sick
not.
of it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. The only pair that's comfortable and I still added an insole because like you said the sole is thin is a pair of Oxfords.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, they flats, but literally like my raffia Oxfords because it's just like I I'm gonna get old someday and I
Yeah,
want to be comfortable.
as you
And
should. Shout out to the Asians, because if you notice Asian women, especially if you're going to get your nails done or something or massage, they
Mhm.
stay in some tennis shoes. Like
Yep.
they are always about comfort. I'm hearing an echo, so if it's something I need to do, let me know. Um, it's coming
Okay.
back, but
Okay.
yeah, they Asian women, they stay in comfort, and I think that we as American women can learn from that because it's not about looking good for the next person. It's about you not being in pain and not having ugly calluses and bunions and sores because you were trying to look cute. It's not okay. It's not necessary.
No, that and they have the skincare down packed.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, they wear the long gloves, they wear umbrellas when it's sunny out, all of that. Like their
Hmm.
skincare regimens are A1.
Shout out to them.
So, shout out to them. But
Let me light my
I'm so
candle.
excited to have you here today. Like this is the first of many. I was like,
Yay, I finally made it. I had to go viral, y'all, to get on Tender Lovin's
no, that's
podcast.
not true.
You've been doing
That
this
is not true
podcast
because
since 2021 or 2020. And I have never been invited. My husband's been on here, but I have not been invited until I went viral. I had to earn my spot. So I'm
no, that is
grateful,
not
St.
true.
Angela's. I'm grateful that I earned my spot on an episode of Whiskey Sour.
Friend, listen, first of all, you know your husband. So I feel like he probably said something mean to me and then I felt really, really bad.
So we have to shame her into getting a spot. My husband and
No,
I are
like I
not
feel like
worthy.
CT will crack some weird joke and I'm like, okay, is he serious or is he playing? Because I don't know, but because I feel like he is. Like one day, CT yelled at me in my DMs because I like commented on a post. Like, oh, now you want to respond? I'm like, I feel like I respond to your stories that you post and I like them. I might heart something. I appreciate your post. Leave me alone.
Hilarious. If you said something negative, you know that we as humans, especially as content creators, we give more energy to a negative comment than a positive comment. So you might have told him he's amazing, he's funny, he's handsome every day. But if you said you need to cut your hair off, he'll be like, "Oh, now you want to respond." So I don't know what the situation was, but we as content creators, we give that energy to the stuff that we didn't want to see.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy, but no, I'm super excited to get in your business. Um, okay. So a couple weeks ago, I had our friend to hear on the show,
Yes.
and we talked about.
This is when you send him some nudie pics, right?
Hold on.
Oh,
Okay.
my bad. I'm sorry. That's
No.
not a secret,
Okay.
right? Because it's on the episode.
Yeah. No. 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 That's not what happened. What had happened
You
was
send him some nudie pics.
I was really really intoxicated. Well, not intoxicated enough, but I feel like okay. So I took the picture. Change. I took the picture
Mm-hmm.
and I looked really good. The
Can you
bathroom was
tell us what the picture was? Was it boobs,
oh,
vagina,
it was
butt?
oh, it was everything because I was waxed,
Oh,
everything. So
oh,
it was full frontal, like,
okay, okay.
and you know, my mama told me that one day life will catch up to me, and this is the second time it's caught up to me regarding these nudes, right? But am I gonna stop sending them? Absolutely not.
No, she's not.
So I looked really good. I was in New Orleans. I was out drinking daiquiris all day. And I was getting, just got out the shower. I was like, damn, I look real good. So I decided that I was gonna take some photos and send them to my guy because sometimes that's what I randomly just do. And after I took them, I just selected the photos and instead of typing in his name, you know how it has on the iPhone where you can just select the photo like the most recent, and which is
Hmm.
weird because I hadn't texted here probably in like some days.
Yeah, it decides who it wants to put in those first few choices. It's weird to me too.
Yes. So I saw my guy's face. I saw the face. I guess my hands and they were not coordinated.
That's funny.
And 10 minutes passed and I was like, damn, this didn't say nothing to me. And I looked, Tangerine, died. I screamed. I laid out on that dirty floor.
That's
And
so
that's all I
funny.
could do. And my sister walked in and was like, what the hell is wrong with you? I was like, oh my God, I just sent news to Tahir. So I'm calling Tahir. He's not picking up. So I call Farron. So because I knew I know they relation I'm not gonna be in
Yeah,
trouble.
that's the
And
best relationship to accidentally send news to the husband of because
yeah,
they're so, open and honest with each other. So she
yeah.
probably
So
wanted a set of news from you for herself. So we love Farron. That's my girl.
that's so funny. That's so funny, but true. But I mean, I say, Farron, she's like, is everything okay? And I said, okay. I accidentally sent to her some photos and she was like, oh, I'm with him. And then he kind of like saw, I guess, like a small image of it on his screen. And he was like, yep, nope, what you want me to do? So he deleted our whole text thread.
Which is
So
hilarious. I love
yeah,
it. I love that story.
yeah, my bad, friend, but we're super close now. I don't
And
care.
what year was this?
Girl, this was a couple weeks ago.
That's what I thought. So, you said you weren't drunk enough. So you should have been more drunk and this wouldn't have happened, or you wouldn't have cared.
I think if I was more drunk, I wouldn't have cared.
Okay.
But I was working and I was like, I wasn't wasted in New Orleans. It's mainly because I had to work while I was there. So, but my mind, I thought I was going to be shit faced this entire time because this was like my first real time in New Orleans.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had plans, but my job said otherwise. Otherwise.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, the last time it happened, actually, Tange, it was like probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was a guy I was seeing, and he was like begging for a photo, like a nude. So I was like, I just clicked in the mirror and kept it going. It was not artistic. It was not cute. It was not my best work. It accident- it was not. It accidentally sent to my homegirl Charmin, who was on her way to pick me up, who was
Oh, that's
actually
funny.
into women. So she was like, what the fuck are
Oh,
you doing?"
she's like she's flirting. Finally, I give me some tender lovins buttercream.
She she was confused. But here's where I get mad. She showed it to our homegirl Monica.
Mm.
And Monica is like, dude, that was not a good photo. So I feel like I
They
owe
judged you.
Monica my classic nudes. I really feel like that. Like I feel like I'm like, no, like you saw something that just was
Yeah, you
mediocre.
gotta redeem
I
yourself.
am not mediocre in the nude game.
First of all, why are you taking new nudes for everybody? You're supposed to just have one or two that are saved in your favorites on a folder that's hidden, and then when somebody asks for one, they get one of the ones that's already been vetted.
Because I got caught up recycling nudes. I got caught up.
Oh, that's so funny. That's
So
true because the date is on them when you get a text and you save it to your camera roll. You can see what date they took it. In fact, when I was dating my now husband, he sent me an unsolicited nude. Didn't ask for it. I'm just cleaning the house one day at home, and I get a text from him, and it's his penis, and I'm like, okay. And then he calls me, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I said, "I'm thinking, why does it say forward, 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 forward on it?" And he was like, "Huh?" Oh, that's because I thought I sent it and you didn't reply, so I kept resending because I was getting it back. I said, "Boy, ain't nobody stupid, and this is an old ass penis pic, and you just sending it out. You throwing the bait in the water and see if anything bites." And I should have known.
you wouldn't know what's so funny is that now, okay, so I have recycled now because now you have to take a screenshot of it. But then like sometimes I just be in the mood. So sometimes people they deserve fresh nudes
I
and I'm
love it.
feeling
I
myself.
love
So
it. She's like, "I look good and people need to see." I love it.
yeah,
Good for you.
but I wanted to ask you because you and CT have been very kind of open about, your relationships, the dynamic, different things that you guys are into, and what works for you guys. I would like to kind of dive into that just a little bit, if that's okay with you, if you're comfortable.
We'll see how far we go because he doesn't like discussing it in public. So we'll see how
Wait,
deep
he
their
got
questions
jokes
get.
about it.
He had jokes about it because I started joking about it, but for whatever reason, when it comes to podcasts and content that's forever, it makes him be like, "Hey, hey, hey, I don't want to write my business." So let's see where these questions go.
You know what? All I was gonna ask was like, what made you guys kind of get to that point? I don't want now. I feel like I don't want to violate.
Well, I'll answer that. It was my
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
I
Oh.
like honesty.
Okay.
I like I like being upfront with things. I know that most people have been in relationships where they didn't know that they had that they were sharing the dick. I
Mm.
don't want to be one of those people anymore. And I was raised by men, and I
Mm-hmm.
learned at an early age that a man can love you with his whole heart and still be physically attracted to someone else, or still meet somebody and have a quick fling with them and come home to you and still love you,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, and that it doesn't make them love you any less. And so knowing that, and knowing that a man can impregnate a woman and she can only be impregnated once at a time for
Mm-hmm.
almost a year, she's
Yeah.
pregnant. The man can
Mm-hmm.
go impregnate a whole bunch of people in that same week or that same month, and several in that same year. But we got to sit here and nourish and or nurture and grow this baby. So there's something in nature that made me realize that, I see men are supposed to hunt. They're supposed to, be
Mm-hmm.
fruitful and multiply. Doesn't have anything to do with his heart, doesn't have anything to do with our relationship, our bond, or anything like that. So as long as it's not getting out of hand and as long as there's honesty, it doesn't bother me. And I think when people hear the type of relationship that I'm in, they immediately go, "Oh, hell no, I could never be in that. She's stupid. She's this, she's that. Ain't no way." And it's like, well, you kind of already are in a relationship like that. You just don't realize it, or
Yeah.
nobody wants your man. But when you look at things like the Jerry Springers and Maury Povich shows and different court shows, you see that even the broke white trash hick is cheating on the woman with the girl down the trailer park from him. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not even a, oh, because we're in Hollywood, or oh, because this man is rich and successful, or because this guy is in the NBA. No, dudes
Yeah.
love new vagina. That's just something they love. And you, as a woman, might actually be really attracted to your work husband. I mean, it doesn't mean that you don't love your real husband any less. So it's not about going out and having a new partner every week or every day. And it's not about having a whole other person come into your marriage. It's just like you make your own rules. And so
Yeah.
I'm not shared specifically what my rules are with my husband and I, but I just want people to know that they don't have to go by the rules that we were taught growing up, because
Right.
those, most of the people with those get divorced. So it's like, don't judge what we're doing. And we've been together 13 years and we're hella happy. And you can look at your parents and see that you got outside siblings, and you, all your cousins got different daddies, and like
My uncles.
just think about your own situation and realize that you can make different agreements if you'd like to, and see if they work for you.
I think what's dope about that in general is it's something that people kind of have to experience, whether it be intentional or kind of something unintentional. I can relate and understand your sentiments just solely based on something happened upon me and dating two people at the same time. It would I honestly, this sounds crazy to some people, but I feel like it was the most fulfillment that I had when it came to relationships,
Hmm.
because when somebody could be lacking something,
Oh, for
the
sure.
other person makes up for it, and vice versa. And people were like, "You're just being greedy." I'm like, "No, I'm just really being happy." Like, what is
Yeah,
wrong with
I
that?
used to
Now,
be a
did
bit.
them niggas know, Tinge? No.
Oh, well, see, that's the difference. But I think especially in college, I was a big advocate on women dating a few guys, one, so they don't get hurt because they put all their eggs in this basket and then something goes wrong and then they're just traumatized. And but
Yeah,
also because it, we as women, we have a lot of different needs, and this guy might be great as a plus one to events. He might clean up really well, look good in a suit. This other guy might be great at just watching movies and cuddling. And this
yeah,
other guy might be great at listening to my issues and my problems and me telling him his and vice versa and all that stuff. So it's like, or this guy might be just really good at cooking and I go over his house and get something to eat and then we just kick it and we're fun, but we never like get out of sweatpants. So it's like you might need a different person for different things until you find that right guy. And I used to be a big advocate of that. So I would always have at least three guys, and not all of them were sleeping with me. It's not a sex
right.
thing. And I think that's what people hear. And they're like, oh, she's a whore. And it's like, no, not all of them are going up inside me. But I'm spending time and I'm having intimate communication with three guys because they all serve three different purposes until
Yeah.
I narrow it down to one guy that has most things I'm looking for. And then you build wealth and happiness and stuff with that one person, but you
Yeah.
still have a different agreement just in case. Just in case.
What's really cool too is that kind of looking back on something you said even about college and how dating should have gone is that in hindsight, I didn't realize what my mom was teaching me, in the dating game very early on. And having friends that are male friends, being able to kind of give you guidance as well.
Mhm.
You know, men always play the numbers game. So like you said,
Always.
women put their eggs in one basket. Men consistently, it'll be 12 baskets and it'll be 13 for real. They're gonna figure it out.
Yes.
But they
Yes.
got 12 eggs. They're gonna figure it out.
Yes.
And because they know at some point one of those 12 or 13 are gonna hit back and they'll be like, all right, cool, I got a cool little
Exactly.
roster going. So I think what's weird is that we as in 2023, there are still people that subscribe to a dating world, rituals, things that kind of were not made for us. And so
Mm-mm.
we're abiding by certain standards and societal rules that kind of have like don't even
They're
put us in
very
line.
antiquated. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and so it's a lot of kind of unlearning that kind of has to happen. But I think also it's just a lot of unnecessary pressures from some people,
Mhm.
that are afraid to kind of go against the grain, because there's a lot of people that are unhappy or in situations that they don't necessarily want to be in because of that, or the appearance of what it looks like. And I'm like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so even honestly, like when it came to my sister, she's going through a divorce. My main thing to her was like, hey, I ain't never been married, so I don't know what that's like. And but listen, at the end of the day, you're all that matters to me, and I want you to be happy. So if that means leaving, say goodbye. Like you have
Yeah.
to.
And divorce is so common. That's why I wanted to make sure we had our own agreement, because I never wanted to be married. I didn't see any happy marriages that didn't involve a
Mhm.
side woman with an apartment down the street, or them being separated for a few years and then getting back together, or them waiting until the kids were in college and then getting the official divorce. Like I've never saw a typical 1950s TV style marriage. And so I was like, "Oh, I don't want that. I just want a life partner." And then, I had CT move in, and within a month, he asked me to marry him, and I just caved like a little girl, like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I didn't want that, but I love it. I mean, we have a really good time together. He's my best friend. We do comedy together. We work together. We one sitcom that you didn't mention in my intro. I'm on Millennials for 2 seasons, but I've been on a show called Family Time for eight
Family time,
seasons.
yes.
And CT is on 7 seasons on that show with me. So we work together every day. We come home together every day. We shoot sketches together every day. We have game night parties at the house. You've been to our viewing parties for Super Bowl, and we do BET
Y'all
Awards.
doing big.
We're really good friends, and we also happen to be lovers, and it's really dope. But we understand each other, and that's why we can be honest with each other. If we want to do something else, it's like I give you permission for that. It's cool, babe. All right,
Yeah.
enough permission. Come back home. Just yeah,
But one thing you said, it's about being able to communicate. And a
yeah.
lot of people are afraid of what that conversation may look like. I think um I was, actually explaining to a homeboy. I'm like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it to people,
Mm.
to each other. So, what is the why? What are you trying to get across? And are you willing to receive what that potential response might be, so
Mm.
I really commend you guys on that, being able to be open and honest with each other, and being able to have such an amazing, like, life.
Thank
like I said,
you.
I come over for game nights
You
and
too.
parties and all that stuff. Y'all got me messed up on that moonshine. I'll never
Oh,
forgive your
yes.
cousin.
I got some North Carolina moonshine, authentic stuff that I brought home from my family, and I give out shots of that at my events, and she took it like a G.
I tried, but the next morning, I told, it's funny, sidebar. I told Walter I had to sit down for a second after went straight to I was like, "Oh my god, this went straight to my stomach." Maybe I did not eat like I thought I ate, and I got hot real quick,
That's
and
funny.
I just had to sit. And I told one of my cousins about it, and he was just like, "Now, girl, now you know." And I'm like, "Yeah, I found
It
out."
it humbled you.
It really, really quick,
It
really
set you
quick.
down.
Um,
Mm.
but being able, you guys also just have like this energy about you guys that's always so welcoming, so much fun. And it's just pleasant to be around. And
Thank
so,
you.
for some people they're like, I can't understand why, but it's just like that is part of the happiness. And what's for me is not for you to necessarily understand either. And I don't have to explain it to you. But
Absolutely.
I think it's really, really dope and super amazing that you guys have found something that makes y'all genuinely freaking happy.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, is this something um, that your family is aware of, or it's just secrets between y'all two?
It used to be secrets, and I started doing comedy in 2018. And
Okay.
one of my first few months of doing jokes, one of my first jokes was talking about
Okay.
um, giving him permission to go off to a side chick so I could have days off. And, I won some awards and some contests doing jokes that were similar to that. And he came to one of my shows and was just like, "What? What are you, how could you say that?" I'm like, "Baby, I'm talking about my life. I think it's funny." And he was so like annoyed by it. And then he started to mention it in his jokes too. And I was like, see, and it's funny because Tahir and Farron were in the audience when I was doing one of the competitions at Flappers Comedy Club. And I was like, this is going to be awkward for me to say this in front of them, but they came to support me. And then next thing you know, they started saying, hey, we're like this too. And I'm like, okay, maybe I encourage them, or maybe they were already like it. And I encourage them to tell people, whatever the case. The more you know, the more you know. So I can't say that it's secretive anymore because my family and his family have been to the shows.
Okay.
So I think more people in my family who live in California know about it. My sister
Okay.
told me that she doesn't like it. She doesn't approve. She's married with two kids and she's just like, it makes me uncomfortable. And I'm like, hey, it is what it is. But I don't, I'm not really concerned with how people receive my information. I'm not asking you to be this way. This is
Yeah.
just me sharing how I am and what makes me happy. And even if 5 years from now or 10 or 20 years from now we end up breaking up, everybody's gonna say, well, it's because of that. But it's like
Mm-mm.
everybody has a season where they're in love and a season where they might be like, okay, we've run our course, we've learned from each other, we're great friends, let's split. So you really never know what to blame it on. But I know that most monogamous relationships, 51% of them end up breaking up. So
Yeah.
what do you blame those on? But
Yeah.
yeah, to answer your question, my family, most of my family knows, and some of his does as well, do as
Okay.
well.
That's cool. That's really cool. And a lot of people break up because they don't know how to talk to each other. They
Yeah,
don't talk to each other. Yes, they say it's money, but a lot of it boils about down to communication, and kind of seeing firsthand in some relationships or marriages what has happened to dissolve that marriage. It's all communication. Y'all start talking and don't be
yeah.
afraid.
Yeah,
So,
she's right because they say the first two reasons for people breaking up is sex, finances. Sex
yeah,
because you didn't have enough of it or because they were having with people outside of themselves. Finances because you didn't tell your partner that you had $100,000 in student loans or you had, $80,000 in credit card debt before you got married, or now he's attached to it and he's trying to help you pay it off or whatever. But communication helps with all of that. Because if
yeah,
you come to me and say, you know what, I love you, I love you, I love you, but is it okay if I do this one time? Or, hey, I love you, I love you, I love you, but by the way, my credit score is 230. Is are you still gonna love me? But my credit score is just the minimum of what you get when you have a name and a social. Like, like you gotta
Yeah.
talk. You're right. Communication is important.
Man, yeah, it's a lot, and I just feel like at this age, it's just like communication is part of having a dope, healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
And so, I want to circle back to something that you said, kind of when you were kind of growing up, you really didn't see what we would say the model relationships, and I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of us haven't. Um, And like, because my mom died super young. I was like 6 months when my mom died, and my
Mm.
sister was three. And so
Mm.
our aunt, Lucretia, who I always talk about, that's our mom, that's my mom's sister. And
That's
she and
who
my
died
dad,
when you were 32. I'm sorry to cut you off.
huh?
Did somebody die when you were 32?
Uh, a whole bunch of people died.
Okay, never mind. I thought you.
My
I
mom
thought.
died. She was 32. She
Oh,
was
she was
32.
32. That's what I
Yeah,
heard
she
you
was
say.
32.
Your mom was
Yeah,
32,
she
and
was
when you
32
made
when
it,
she
okay.
died, and I was 6 months, and then my sister was
Wow.
three.
Okay, I'm
And
listening.
so, I had a hard time today. I had a monstera that my sister gave to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna name her Penny," which was our mom name. Girl, it's been through hell and it died, and I cried. I was like, "Why is my plant life imitating life?"
But you
So,
needed that. Sometimes you got to let it out. She doesn't want
girl,
you to completely forget about her. So that's
girl.
good.
Well, I'm now working on repotting and repurposing, however you do it, putting the
Mhm.
shit in water. But anyway, so like that's something that's really common. And what I was talking to like some friends the other day, I was like, yeah, also like growing up, we're not taught how to navigate relationships in general. Like when it comes to friendships, no one tells us really how to be a friend outside of be kind. When it
Mhm.
comes to having a partnership, no one, there is no playbook, and no one even talks about it. It's just like find a nice person that treats you well. And
Right.
so I feel like we have certain things that are put into place, like, it's like, oh, it's the city girl mentality, hot girl summer, certain things, which I too enjoy a city girl life. um
You're not married yet. It's okay.
I'm not married yet, but I think back to one of the healthy relationships that I saw growing up, and it was actually our puppet director. I was in a puppet ministry growing up, hidden talent. I can do puppetry.
Hilarious. You and
Yeah,
it's a comedian CP can do
yeah.
content together. I love it.
I told CP, and he was shocked. And so he told me he was actually trained by the original Elmo.
Mhm.
So in puppetry. So I thought I gagged because I love Sesame Street.
That's awesome.
But our puppet director, Mrs. Adams, she was in this very, at least from what we saw, loving, supportive, marriage. The husband took care of everything. He allowed her to just be creative and expressive, and they really kind of like look out for us. So that was something that was super important, like to me.
Mhm.
And people always say, "Oh, you're a gold digger, you want certain things." I'm like, no, I literally have seen this man just whisk her away and do all these amazing things for not only her but their family. They had 4 kids, and she would have had more had she not had to have surgery, emergency surgery. And they had like like, yes, nice things as well, but it was just like I was heartbroken when he passed, because I was like, man, he was such an amazing guy. And at his funeral, like everybody was saying all these nice things. And those were things that I was like, these are things that I would want in a partner outside of materialistic things, just being able to show up and like really, we talk about the terms being submissive when it
Mhm.
comes to women, but we don't talk about men leading.
Yeah, we wanna submit if the man's a good leader, we have no problem with it.
We have no problem. And that was probably the first time that I really saw somebody lead, and it just wasn't with a pocketbook. I like saying pocketbook. It was
So
just in
old
all
school.
these other areas, like everybody respected this man. And I think that's something that, ultimately when that time comes, like, not everything, because, I have my own little quirks and things that I like, but that's one of the main relationships that I consistently think about,
And
where
that's a great example.
yeah, like unconditional love. Like, yes, they likely had their problems, they had highs and lows, but they loved each other so much. So I mean, it's just
And I
to me.
think that's important when you're I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think that's important when you're growing up. Those are the examples you look for to figure out what type of relationship you want to be in. So if you're in one of those neighborhoods where I had a lot of experience in seeing toxic relationships in
Mhm.
teenagers and people that were like in their younger 20s. So I was aspiring to be in a toxic relationship because that looked like really fun, dramatic love. Oh, you really love me because you're
Yep.
screaming at me because you're taking your gifts back from him and you caught him cheating and you're not leaving because you want to throw some stuff across the floor and then stay with them. And like, so I was looking for that type of relationship. And then
Mm.
the adults in my life, like I said, in my neighborhood, everybody had been married. We had a nice middle class neighborhood with beautiful homes with swimming pools in the backyard, but everybody had, maybe a side chick here, a side chick there. Maybe they separated for a couple of years or whatever. But I was just seeing these types of examples,
Hmm.
and there's a difference between me and somebody who may have just saw a nice, beautiful, typical marriage of their parents together for 45 years or something. And then they're just like, I want the same thing. I want to be with my husband for 45 years and we're never gonna. And, there was some affairs in that 45 years, but they don't talk about it. And you're not supposed to
Right.
know. And, it is what it is. But you having that example is a great example for you, to aspire to. So I love that for you.
Girl, he was in a flight club and actually bought them a plane.
Nice.
I
That's
was
why
like,
people think she's a gold digger.
where's Mr. Adams?
That's why people think you're a gold digger because your example of love includes gifts and your love language is receiving gifts. And
Yes.
you're not going to put up with somebody who does not give you your love language. So it's all part of the package.
It's part. Is all. It is literally a part of the deal. Like I
I know.
and when I say gifts, I don't mean it doesn't have to be an Hermes bracelet or anything like that. Buy me flowers. I love like random flowers. It's just, oh, you thought about me. This made you think about me. This beautiful flowers. So yeah, but it like to speak to that too. I think that as far, especially in our culture, piggybacking off what you said, we are conditioned that love has to come with struggle. Like love can't exist outside of that. And when people sometimes receive love that is very pure and selfless, sometimes people will do things to sabotage
For
themselves because
sure.
it's not
For
chaotic.
sure. Or they just run away because it's like, oh, he's a geek or she's too good. I'm not
Yeah.
ready for her kind of thing. But it's a ridiculous mindset that some of us have had to think that we have to go
Ha-
through struggle first.
have you ever had that, like someone say, Tange, like you're amazing, you're this and that, but you're too good for me?
Absolutely. I used to date guys, I think two guys before CT used to tell me all the time, man, you are so dope. I don't know why nobody's wiped you up yet. And I'm like, you could. Why are you saying that? You could do that. But we're friends now, whatever. And it's just like so funny that people talk to you like that. But again, it's our experiences. If you think that it needs to be some struggle first, or if you think, man, I'm going to corrupt her. She's such a good woman, and I'm still an ain't-ish Negro. I I better leave her alone. I don't know if my microphone is going in and out. Okay, yeah, I better leave her alone. So that's silliness until we grow up.
It was a gut wrenching punch when this guy said that to me one time. And I was this is I was still in college, living in St. Louis, and I don't know, I guess it was the conversation about dreams and goals. And he came back like, you're just too good for me. And I really found myself really liking him. I'm like, but I mean, yeah, maybe, but you really not giving this a try. Like, why don't you want to give this a try? Maybe I can elevate you a little bit. Right. I was like, and he was so cute and like so dope to me. And I just could not believe I was hearing that. I was like, listen, this is a cop out.
He did you
Like,
a favor. He did you a favor because he wasn't going to be good for you right then. You guys
yeah.
maybe can find each other at another time, but he knew. Men decide they're ready to settle down before they even meet the woman they want to settle down with. And that's
Yeah.
why a lot of times when a guy asks somebody to get serious, if she says no, they're in a tight, close relationship, engaged like right away. Because it wasn't so much
Mm,
about the woman as it was he was ready. He had a job he liked. He figured he could afford the kind of place he wanted. He's ready
yep.
to start a family, maybe make some babies. And he's like, okay, whoever I'm in love with next, they're going to get a ring. So if you're talking to somebody who's not ready for that yet, they could see how dope you are and be like, I'm
Yeah.
not ready. I'm still fucking these bitches, but you're amazing. And I don't want to fuck these bitches knowing that you're my girl. So I'm going to let you go.
Yeah. No, that's real. But it's so funny that you just said that list that men go through. And sometimes I get flack just a little bit from some of my homegirls because they always feel like I'm I have an excuse for men, but I'm like, what you said was so straightforward and linear. Like, it's that simple. And I tell them, I'm like, a man, if his money is funny, like something didn't come through, like he was like, they are in a mood and they will go back, and that is just their only sole focus. They don't really know what that's like, what multitasking
Right.
means. We as women, we're taught that at such an early age, from the toys that we play with.
We have to take care of a lot of different things.
We women take care of like a lot of different things, and men that y'all talk, go to work, pay the bills, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But anything you add another layer to it, they are shaky. They do not know what to do.
Yeah.
And
There was an
so,
oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
There was an experiment that I heard about where you put on headphones and they play like 7 different stories in your ear.
Hmm.
A woman can hear the 7 different stories, and after the session you're asked, tell us about, what you heard, and the woman will tell you a little bit about each of the 7 stories. She doesn't have a whole story because she had to stop listening to this one to listen to that one because they're telling them simultaneously. A man only heard one story.
Yeah.
He tuned the other 6 out because they don't multitask. Their mind is, it's very focused on one thing, so they can come back and they can tell you the beginning, middle, and end of that one story, but they ignore the other 6. So it's a great example of how we are trying to take care of everything. We're taking care of our, our work life, our home life, the kids' life, the being the wife, and making sure everybody's fed. We have all these different things to focus on, and we got these great ideas for being creative, and we want to knit this and make that and bake the cookies. And the guy's just like, listen, I went to work. Now I'm finna watch TV with my hand down my pants. So I did my job. I provided for you. Now get out my face. And it's not
Yep.
anything wrong with that, but that's just how we're wired.
Yep. And you sound just like CT, by the way. It was a tone that you picked up.
Really?
Yes, it was very CT.
Ah, that's cute.
That is hilarious. I want to talk about like some of your upcoming projects. Like, what is Tange working on? Like, what we got,
Hmm.
what we doing, friend?
Let's see. What am I working on? I just shot a new TV show that
Ooh,
it's supposed to be on. I'm not supposed to tell anybody anything about it. I'll just say
okay.
at the end of last year, I was quickly flown out of town first class to go
Oh,
to someplace else and to shoot a new series. And there'll be some recognizable names that are part of it. And now we are waiting to find out how much further the show is going to go, and
okay.
hoping that we hear something and shoot more of it by this summer. So
Okay.
I'm excited about that and hoping that it gets out to the world because I thought it was a really good project. And besides that, you can always watch me on the reruns of 8 seasons of Family Time on the Bounce channel. You can watch it on bouncetv.com for free. You can watch it on the Brown Sugar app, which you can also watch through Amazon Prime on your smart TVs. And then I'm on 2 seasons of the show Millennials. You can also watch on Amazon Prime or the All Black app, which is owned by AMC Networks. It's also on WeTV. I'm in a bunch of movies. You can go to tangerine.com. I'm trying to think. Oh, I just made some new shirts. I'm in my office and I'm like, oh yeah, these are all my sites that you can
I'm
follow.
like,
Tangerine or official Tangerine.
you
What do
got
you say?
shirts, you got podcasts. I'm like,
Yes,
man, you got a lot going on. I'm
I
like,
have a Tangerine's Top Talent every other Tuesday, the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. I host a
okay,
virtual live um, open mic. So you can come in and sing, rap, dance. I've had pole dancers on skates in there. I've had people solving a Rubik's Cube right before our eyes. You can come in there and paint, show us a new book that you may have illustrated or written, and tell us how we can get it. Just come in and show us your talent. Sometimes we give away money to our favorites. And then also, I have the Marriage Go Round podcast, which I just finished doing with my husband right before I did this one, but it's every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube. Marriage Go Round. Marriage Go Round. Tangerine and CT's Marriage Go Round. He hates singing the theme song, so I'll make him sing it every week. That's my baby. But we just talk about relationships. We give advice, but we also take advice because we're only 9 years into the marriage and 13 years together, 15 years as friends. So we've known each other, but we're not perfect. There's somebody who's been married 30, 40 years that could tell us, hey, make sure you do this and never do that. Or somebody who's divorced, they could say, well, this is what made my marriage mess up. So we're just there to give you our advice, to tell funny stories, read funny relationship memes together. We answer live comments in the chat, and we have a good time. So that's every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube. And then my Shoot Your Shot dating show at some
What?
point is going to come back. She was a special guest of
I was
that.
gonna ask.
And actually, your episode, when I did it, my YouTube page was deleted. My YouTube page got deleted for an entire year. So when I did your episode, it was only on Facebook. Now that my YouTube page came back miraculously, almost a year to the day, I lost it in October of 2021 and got it back in October of 2022. Now I can post your episode on YouTube so
Okay.
people can see it and tag you and let your followers see the people that were shooting their shot to get a date with the Tender Lovins.
Yes. I want to stay there for a second
Okay.
because I remember AJ. The
Yes, Aeronology
yes.
Jokes that CT nicknamed AJ. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So he was on live the other night with Keisha and I. Like he was in the comments. So
Okay.
that was really nice. I was like, wait a second. I think I know him.
Yes.
Girl. He was going in on this dude who he begged to join the live, who asked us. I have this friend that is a retired porn star, but she's a good friend of mine. But is it bad that I still see her as a porn star? And blah, 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 blah. And so it's this whole thing that happens. And so we're like, yeah, you're kind of like a terrible person and you shouldn't be her friend because you're really not her friend. You're sexualizing her, blah, blah, blah.
Mm, mm.
Girl, the way AJ went in on him and was terrorizing this man,
AJ is feisty. I love
he,
him. He's
he
feisty.
was so spicy tanned. And we were just getting our lives like laughing at the comments. But I was like, AJ, what is going on? Like,
I'm glad he spoke his mind. He spoke up. That's great.
he
AJ's a
really
good dude. Repping
he
Detroit.
is. He's so sweet. I was like, what is going on? So that's why I'm like, this is so funny. But I was gonna ask you about shoot your shot. I was like, you haven't had anybody on in a while. What's
I
going on
haven't
with the
done it since
show?
February of 2021. I think losing my YouTube page, I'm sorry, February 2022, losing my YouTube page in October of 2021 disheartened me.
Mm,
And then I was like, okay, I'll just do the show on Facebook. And I was doing that for a while. But then the world opened back up at the same time. And it was harder for me to schedule a date where I was available and the girl was available. And then the shooters could be there and not be at work. Because when I started the show in April of 2020, we were all on lockdown. And I thought I was just going to
yeah.
do the show for 2 weeks. I ended up doing 62 episodes because we were on lockdown for so long. And then when we opened up from lockdown, I would schedule something with somebody and then they would have to cancel, or I would say, oh, the next show will be this date. Then I would book a comedy show and have to go perform. And so
Mm-hmm.
just the scheduling of it, I was like, well, maybe I'll do the show later in the evening because people can go to work and then come back home. And then it's like, well, what about the people on the East Coast? And I've gained followers who are in Africa and in Amsterdam and Netherlands and UK. And it's like, okay, well, they're 9 hours ahead and they're 10 hours ahead. So it just became so overwhelming. And it also cost me money to put the show together, to pay out the gifts and to pay, different people that might help me get it together, pay for the casting, to put the notices out to people. Like it was just a lot of work. And so I
Mm-hmm.
kept putting it off. And then we moved into this house where we have a lot of rooms and I clean them. I keep them clean. I'm a stay-at-home housewife who also has a full-time job for her as a business owner. So it's a very lot much more work than it was before we moved. So all these reasons make me keep putting off the show. I said I was going to start it back in February around Valentine's Day, and then I booked a show. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna bring it back in March. This is March, and I don't
It's
know when
April
this.
now.
And it's, yeah, okay, it's about to be April by the time this airs. So very soon I want to bring the show back because it's being asked and requested so much. And I just hope that the final excuse that I have, I'm still hearing that echo, but the final excuse that I have is that everything became, how do we compete with TikTok? We got to make
Oh,
reels and shorts. And so this was a long form content show that would go an hour and a half to 2 hours because we're casting it live. We're finding people out the audience that'll go to get on camera. We're asking them to fix their cameras. We're asking them to turn the light on. We're asking them to go around their house and find clothes to do this challenge. So it's taking a long time and it's so much fun. But now we're not stuck in the house anymore. Now we're asked to look at TikTok for 15 seconds or 60 seconds. And that's all every platform is focused on is
yeah.
vertical 60-second, 10-second, 90-second content. So it's like for me to put the time and energy it takes into doing that long show again live, if it's not going to get the views because it's not a TikTok reel or short, would be disheartening. And so those are all the excuses of why I haven't done it in over a year and 2 months, honestly.
Have you ever thought about potentially like your TikTok just being just a short clip of it? Would you drive
Absolutely, which takes the
people?
time for me to go back and watch them and pull something, which is on my long ass to-do list because at the same time I'm doing clips of my other shows, making comedy clips, writing jokes, keeping the house, going to events, it's just it's on the list. But yes, I want to take clips of the 62 episodes and post them as reels for sure.
You got to hire like one of your mods to do it. Like or at least have they give like the time stamps of like the hot shot.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I need help. I need help, and I go through assistance like the woman on Murphy Brown used to go through assistance. Like I have people help me, and then they're like, "Oh, I booked a commercial. I'm making money. I'm gonna leave," or "Oh, I'm gonna be working over here for this person instead. Thanks for everything you taught me." So it's just been a journey. It's been a
Sheesh.
journey.
Sheesh. Well, I hope you figured it out because definitely loved that show and
Thank
always was
you.
tuning in, was in the comments and
But
everything. So,
would you be able to tune in now that the world is back open and you're working for your friend and you're working for yourself and you got these podcasts and these candles and
I would still
you're
watch.
working at Kev on stage? Yes.
Yeah,
Probably
I
the
would still
replay.
watch because like sometimes like I'm literally the way that I'm even on like the Kevin on Stage app. It I'm at home, like I'm could be writing or working or something. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I'm up at 10 a.m. on like Sundays watching Zuma with the homies.
Yeah,
It's
that's a funny
something
show.
because I think it's pockets of happiness that people look for, and so you guys created so much dope content during the panorama.
I
We
love when you
still
call it
want
that.
it because
And
like
that's the thing to hear change his to Sundays because I was like, maybe I should do mine Sunday because everybody's back at work and it used to be Thursday at 3 in the afternoon in Pacific time.
right,
Charades that Shantae Wayans was doing, she changed hers to being on Sundays in the
yeah,
evening. To hers is on Sunday morning. So it's like we're all trying to figure out like, okay, where can we put this show that we were doing on weekdays every single day? Because to hers was every single night on the
it was
weekdays. And now it's just Sunday mornings. And mine was Thursdays. And now I'm like, should I do Saturdays? Nah, I might have a show. Nah, I might be out of town for a show. Should I do Sundays? I'll probably have one more show. So it's like it's so many things to factor in for me. And then, schedule with other people. But I'm listening. I
right.
am listening.
Yeah, I like I said, like there he at 10, she at 6. You can be at 3 on Sundays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It'll be so much. Like I said, it would be so much fun. But I remember my ex. He's like, I just sent him the flyer, and he was like, I didn't get to see it, but I want to shoot my shot. I was like, it was a game show.
And he would have had to work because there's verbal and physical challenges, ladies and gentlemen.
I was like,
He
I
would
don't
have
know
had
what
to
you
work.
thought this was, but that ain't that.
That's
Not
funny.
with you. So, but yeah, it was
Um,
so much fun because, like, even I'm seeing, see, wife
This is
feast.
my merch. That's me on the inside the eye for both of those letters. It's my body. So you can get that as a shirt, a mask, a tank top, a mug, an apron, a sports bra, all on tangerine.com. Just hit the store button. Sorry to cut you off again, but I'm listening.
Okay, I need to be about this merch life. Y'all got to teach me y'all ways. Cause like I'm kind of like I was like, man, I would love to just put my eyes like on a t-shirt or
Mm. Or
something.
your eyes in these glasses with this haircut. It was a cute outline.
Listen, whatever we got to do, like teach me the ways. But I'm just like, I just love, and I want to say this. I don't know if I've ever said this to you, But you, CT, to hear all y'all are such inspirations. I want to let you know that
Yay.
because it was a lot getting out of my scaredy cat zone.
Hmm.
And I learned a lot, so much from y'all during lockdown. I was like, okay, I just got to put it out there and just let it be. I don't care if one
Hmm.
person watches, but I'm doing this for me. So it
Yeah.
it it was a lot to like branch out and just to do it. And so I just want to say thank you
Yay.
for no, I'm serious. I'm not gonna cry. But
I've seen her crying on some of these podcasts. She's so
y'all be getting
emotional.
me. And I don't like that because I'm a thug, okay?
You are not a thug. You
I
are
am,
so
yes,
sweet.
I am.
You are
I'm from the
such a
one
lady.
side of St. Louis and I sold guns out the back of my truck, okay?
I love it. I love that.
But seriously, like you guys are such an inspiration to me and such amazing friends. And it's so funny because like some people will fan go, "Oh my god, you friends with Tangerine?" I'm like, "Yeah, how is she? She's normal.
She
She's a
ain't
really cool person. She's
shit.
normal." They're like, "What she smell like? What she smell like?"
Hilarious. I smell
Flint.
amazing. Essential oils. Thank you for asking.
So
That's funny. That is funny. Well, thank you. My name is the bringer of energy, health, joy, and light, is what it's defined as. And so I love being able to sow seeds and pour into people and inspire people because I'm inspired. Like I see how hard Kevin Hart works. He's already
Mhm.
a millionaire, and then he's like, "I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna do another special. I'm gonna have some supplements come out. I'm gonna open up a fast food truck. I'm gonna do that." Like he's already rich, and he's continuing to work. I see that same work ethic in my husband. I see that
Mhm.
same work ethic in Tahir. Like
Mhm.
these people are constantly putting out content. Tahir can
Yeah.
be about to kill over and die from stomach pain and fatigue and exhaustion, and he will still stop and record a damn video of to make us laugh and to sew into our lives and to make him some money or whatever. But his work ethic is bar none. And so
Yeah.
those people are in our circles and we all reflect back to each other. You and I are just
Yeah.
reflections of each other, tender love. And so it's like, I appreciate you saying that, but we both got a podcast on StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? Like we all doing this. We all inspiring each other, and I love to see it.
Yeah, so I just want to say that because like y'all, I don't think y'all realized it, but y'all really did pour into me, and I
Yay.
like being able to give people their flowers and things, in real time because it does mean a lot. And I was so happy that you texted me that one. You was like, "You want to go to this?" I was like, "Tangerine don't never call me go nowhere." Shit, yes I am. I'm going.
Yay.
And I'm
I'm
gonna have
glad
a
you
good time.
came.
I wasn't dancing, but I was
I
going.
wanted you to be in the dance contest. I was like, she left me with that bro myself, but it worked out.
Hold on. No, that ain't what happened. I Tangerine, I be having to schedule sex, okay? Because
That seems so boring. That's what parents have to do. You are without child having to
I
schedule
know,
sex and date nights.
but me, like our schedules are so different, and
Mm.
so when we can see each other and get it, oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm flaking, and I didn't flake.
Yeah, you showed up.
I showed up, but I
You
just was
showed
like,
up.
hey, I gonna go to the movies, and he gonna drop this dick off. I
I
gotta have a
respect
good
it.
week.
I respect it. I respect it. Do what you got to do. But you made it work because most people wouldn't have two things planned on the same night. Because in LA, everything shuts down early. You can do that in New York. You can do that
Yeah,
in Louisiana. You can be out all night and have a few different places to go. But out here, if you go into a spoken word event that starts at 8, that's the night. But not
yep,
Dominique. Dominique said no. I'm gonna leave here and go through this crazy parking lot, and I'm gonna drive to the other side of town. I'm going to the movies with my man. And
yeah,
I'm not
because I
going to
went to
see
that
rounds 3 and
bridge.
4 of this spoken word act, which were killer, by the way, that you missed
You
a good
kept me
show.
informed, and I
I
appreciate
did
it.
send you
I
pictures.
thoroughly appreciate it. I can't like the next one. Please let me know, and because I'm
April
definitely
7th.
down. I
April
know you
7th.
said that was the first time they kind of had it on that scale or whatever with the battle,
Hmm.
but hey, whatever's going on, it was really, really dope, and I'm always game. I'll be at home
Yay. Yay.
in
Well,
my
it's called flypoet.com. If anybody's watching and wants to know what we're talking about, it's a biggest spoken word thing that they have in LA. And it was a battle for $5,000. So 8 different spoken word artists performed. 3 rounds, and they chose a winner, and in between those rounds they had a dance contest after intermission, and that's the video that she played at the top of this. And I just got into the
Yes.
dance contest and had a good time for entertainment value only.
I mean, you killed it. Like you
Thank
hit the
you.
splits, the knees, everything. And then here's the kicker. Tangerine was like, "Oh, I'm so nervous.
I'm shy.
I'm
I
shy."
was nervous though. I didn't want to do it. I kept saying, please just pick somebody from the crowd. Don't let me do it. Cause I know the guy who puts the event together. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not a dancer. I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. Like, I don't want to dance. And he was like, come on, I need you. I just need to make sure I got an ace in the hole. I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was really, really nervous.
Well, we couldn't tell the way that music kicked on. You ripped that jacket
Then they
off.
played Nasty Girl. I was
Yes,
nervous,
they
and then I
did.
heard Nasty Girl, and I was like, oh,
No. So you channeled your inner Sasha Fierce, threw that jacket off, and I mean went to town. I was like,
thank you, sis. It was
I
fun.
listen. They would have had to play Nelly for me because I would have had to do the mono, the chicken head, the
Hilarious.
pancake, and the heel. Like I'm
That's
serious. I'm
perfect.
like,
And that's the thing. I didn't know what dances that I could do that hadn't already been done because I'm up there against other people. And I was like, if you break out doing this, I can't do it too and make the crowd go crazy. So I'm like, if you are, if you hitting the troop and the wop and all this stuff, then I'm like, what's left? What's left? I was like, Tootsie Roll. Oh, let me get on my stomach and do the centipede. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of stuff. It was ridiculous.
let me hit the split, and then let me back up with the
Let
split.
me back up into the split because that's not a dance at all. So nobody did that.
Well, Tangerine, thank you so much for coming on, and I would definitely love to have you back and talk more hot
Sure, sure.
topics and
Thank
get in
you.
your business
I
and
earned
tell
a
our people.
spot. I earned a spot. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let me shut up.
You did, you earned a spot. You earned a spot. You always have a spot. Listen, wait, do you do your one show? Still where
Oh
that
no.
that we did, and you was asking me about pegging.
Oh, my celibate info podcast. I haven't done it in a while because that was on my OnlyFans, but I moved my OnlyFans people over to Patreon, and I'm trying to
Okay,
keep it less about sex and more about exclusive footage. I forgot to tell you, I got a Patreon, and so
okay,
whenever I go to events or whenever I shoot something, I post the behind the scenes on my Patreon. I post photo shoots on my Patreon and ask you guys to choose the favorite pictures and stuff like that. I'll tell you what's really going on in my life, and I also add you to my close friends on my Instagram so that you
that's
can
dope.
see my stories. And when you see the green light around my profile pic, then I have a story just for you, close friends and subscribers, and you become Team Reen instead of just Team Tangerine. So I haven't done the Celibate Info podcast in a while, but yeah, do y'all know Tender Lovins be trying to peg dudes? Y'all know about that? That she told y'all about that?
The
Because
dude
we
the
talked
other
about
night
it.
that was the other night with Aaron online, that guy was he said he a porn star. I ain't never heard of him. But he said, I don't know what he found that quick, but he was like, I'll let you peg me.
Oh, and did you get his information? Because you got excited.
From the top of his head, because he really wasn't in the screen, I don't think
Hmm.
I would want to peg him.
So you need to be physically attracted to the
I
person
feel
to
like I
peg
need to be
them
attracted to them in some kind of way.
because they got
Don't
to just flip over. Like, why do you care what they look like?
Cause I want to be turned on in some kind of way. Maybe you flick my bean a little bit of liquid boob or two. I don't know.
Oh, that's important. Okay, I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
like so then I could kind of get pleasure out of doing it. I don't want to just peg a random person.
So you haven't pegged anybody to this day. We had this interview a couple years ago, probably
Yes.
2021. You still haven't
I
pegged
I
anybody?
I have a friend that's kind of helping me uh with this situation,
Okay.
and hopefully it'll be taken care of, and when it gets taken care of, you will be the first person I send a message to.
Thank you. Is this going to end up being a gay person that you have to peg, you think?
No, they can identify as whatever. I don't care as long as they kind of attractive, like
Okay. So they can flick the bean or lick the boobs or get you turned on and y'all have some good
yeah, just a
times.
little,
Okay.
just a little bit. So I think that will be yeah.
I love it. Good luck.
I thank you.
Now, my question, I know you're signing off and we've been over an hour, but you have a man, you talk about him often, so I think you really do care about this person. Would pegging another man be considered cheating?
You know, this has come up because he thought that I wanted to peg him, and I didn't want to peg him. And I was like, I just want to peg somebody. It don't have to be you if you're open to it. He won't even let me toss his salad, friend.
Oh wow, that's because he's scared he's gonna like it. Because it feels amazing to men to get their salad tossed, and they don't like to admit that it feels good. So he
I
don't
I
want to find out.
I tried to lick the gooch.
The
It was
taint area.
it
The
was not
taint.
happening, friend. I've been trying to relax him and I'm like, just breathe and just let it be. I think
That's
he was gonna
funny.
punch me on the top of my head.
Of course.
So, I don't think he would consider that cheating. I think he would experiment, like say that that would be more experimental.
Okay. But that's
Now, if
something that you
I
would communicate to each other so you don't get in trouble.
right
Okay.
now, I feel like if I had the threesome with the two men,
The devil's threesome. That's what that's called.
yes,
Dun dun dun.
yes, I think that he would consider that cheating, but I don't think he
Wait,
would.
if he's one of the men, he's still considered cheating, or it'd be two
Well, he's
different
not gonna
men.
do what I already asked.
So the devil's threesome got to be without him too. Are you sure this is the man for you, Dominique?
I think I just gotta loosen him up. I've been trying to loosen him up.
Get him some of this sour whiskey we talking about. Meanwhile, I forgot to tell y'all before we get out of here, I am completely sober, have been since high school. I'm drinking coconut water out of my merchandise mug because I know you're supposed to drink on an episode of Whiskey Sour, and I am drinking coconut water.
So you think we're gonna glaze over that?
What? That I don't
You said
drink?
no. You said you've been sober since high school.
Yeah, I started in junior high. I started in sixth
Okay,
grade and
we're gonna
stopped in
unpack
11th
that
grade.
another day, friend. Tell people where they can find you, Miss Tangerine.
Please find me on all platforms. If you know how to spell my name, it's spelled Tanjareen. Ooh, my polish is chipped. I got hooker nails. Don't look at that. All right, Tanjareen.com. I'm Tangerine on Patreon, on YouTube, and on Twitter. And I'm official Tangerine on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
Yes,
Tangerine.com. All my shows for comedy are on Tangerine.com as well. If you just click comedy once you get to the site.
and Tangerine is hilarious, y'all. Like
Thank
y'all
you.
think she's funny here. She's freaking hilarious live.
Thank you very much.
You are, and you're my favorite. And so I'm so happy that you came.
Yay.
And don't forget, guys, that we also have candles at saint-angeles.com. Use code Aquarius at checkout, and you'll get 30% off your first purchase.
Ooh,
So be
I gotta learn
sure.
how to spell.
Oh my gosh.
Spell Aquarius.
So
A.
yeah, 30% off your first purchase. And I also have a promo code with Slide Jewels. And you use code St. Angeles at checkout to get 30% off of your first box. You can cancel at any time. So they have nice, amazing necklaces, earrings, and stuff. So yeah, at checkout, St. Angeles, SAINTANGELES. That
You
almost
don't know how
happened.
to spell it?
I had a slow moment right there. This whiskey was going down too
The
good.
whiskey. She's
The
not drunk
whiskey.
enough. Oh, you're so funny.
News. You sent some news the other day. I'm gonna send one right now.
Well, can I get a nude? I mean, well, everybody get a nude but Tangerine. Tangerine wants some nudes. I can share
Maybe
with my
one day
husband.
you'll be the one where it's like accidentally sent.
Yeah, send me some accidental news. I'm not deleting our whole text feed. I'm keeping it. I'm
Oh
keeping
my
it. I'm showing
gosh.
my husband we're gonna use it. It's
Like
foreplay.
TT, look what Dom just did. I'm like, that's a ring.
We would love to see that. Damn it. Don't leave us out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Have so many amazing ideas and shows coming up. And I will keep y'all posted on everything. So yeah, thank you guys. And I'll see you here next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.